NordVPN will block online trackers, hide your virtual location, and secure your devices from malware-infected files during downloads. It will also detect malicious websites. So catch the Black Friday.
On Sports Talk, Chip visits with Hall of Fame Minnesota Viking defensive lineman Carl Eller. He asked Eller about the famous Roger Staubach to Drew Pearson Hail Mary pass in the 1975 playoff game between the Cowboys and the Vikings.
Up here, he still was a push-up, but down there, how he figured it was fair play. You know, he didn't push up.
It's still interference up there all these years later, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's still interference.
Sports Talk, throwing Hail Marys Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 on the Zone.
This Christmas, love beyond. The Salvation Army, in partnership with Bryan Broadcasting, presents Angel Tree. Show love to a local child in need by adopting an angel from the Angel Tree inside Blue Baker Restaurants, the Post Oak Mall Food Court, or online at salvationarmybcs.org. Select your angel, shop for their gifts, and return them by Monday, December 12th. Join us to show families in need that love exists beyond hardships. For information or to volunteer, visit salvationarmybcs.org.
For your car, your home, your business too, Acme Glass takes care of you. For over 60 years, we're the clear leader. Our quality and value keeps shining through. For repair and replacement on all kinds of glass, you can trust Acme for quality that lasts. Where quality and value keeps shining through, Acme Glass, we're the clear leader.
I'm in love with a man named Rudy, I'm okay with that. He knows exactly what I want, he keeps me coming back. Cooks breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me, does the dishes too. I'm in love with a man named Rudy, last name Barbecue. It sure is easy to fall in love with Rudy's tasty oak smoked barbecue.
Next in line.
Here's Brad Beard of Intercon.
Replacement windows, like other major purchase items, will at some time in the future need service, whether warranty or not. If you purchase your replacement windows from Intercon, you'll just phone our local number and we will take care of your issue in a prompt and professional way. Every one of Intercon's personnel who answer the phone will know how to involve the right people to find a solution. With Intercon, you won't spend hours manipulating through an automated phone tree. If you consider purchasing your replacement windows from another window source, a good exercise would be to call the service department of the other company. You might come away thinking it'd be better to put your trust in a local company with a solid and well-established reputation. Ask your friends and colleagues about the customer experience they had with Intercon. We are proud of our track record and our commitment to long-term customer service. Trust Intercon, a family-owned local business, with all of your window needs.
Whether you have new construction or an existing home, let the fine folks from Intercon help your home energy efficiency year-round. Call Brad Beard of Intercon today at 823-3639. That's 823-3639.
One of our biggest problems today is that we are afraid to have others challenge our mindset, and therefore we avoid topics that can lead to challenging conversations. At a young age, we're told not to talk about anything that is remotely divisive, but without having challenging conversations, how do you know that what you're saying is your truth and not just something you were raised to believe? Having conversations is how we learn. It's important to be able to see the other sides of things in order to form an opinion and choose what's best for you. Let's say you were raised to shower with all your clothes on. You could go throughout life thinking that is the best way to get clean, and if you never meet anyone brave enough to talk about hygiene, then you may never know that there is a better way. There's no reason to be afraid of differences. Limiting yourself to certain topics can render yourself unable to talk to friends, coworkers, or even family. To avoid challenging conversations is the same as to keep your mind trapped in a little box. Open your box and start having more civic conversations.
Civility. It's an American thing. From AmericanThing.org.
Aggieland, this is your home for Texas A&M basketball. The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. You're listening to KZD College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the Zone. College Station police continue to investigate the circumstances of last weekend's collision of an SUV that collided with a Santa's Wonderland shuttle bus. CSPD yesterday identified those in the SUV as a man and a woman from Navasota. The driver who died was Anthony Dwayne Johnson, and the woman who was rescued by a tow truck driver is Sherntreese McGinty. CSPD also reports that the driver of the shuttle bus, who was rescued by a CSPD officer, Calvin Hill of Bryan, is hospitalized in Houston in serious condition. More construction will be taking place around the city of Bryan's new ball fields at the north end of Midtown Park. The city council at last week's meeting approved without discussion spending $107,000 to replace grass with synthetic turf in 10 areas of the Travis Athletic Complex. Irrigation lines that were previously installed will be capped. The contract also includes pouring a 30 by 90 foot concrete pad to store pitching mounds. The project will be funded through cost savings in other areas of the Travis complex. Texas A&M President Catherine Banks spent more than 1 hour earlier this month fielding questions from the university's faculty senate. The first question was whether administrators recognize the stress employees and students have had since her reorganization of the university.
I think I can unequivocally say that we all respect and are very appreciative of the time, effort, and energy that the faculty community has spent on the MGT Path Forward changes.
Regarding personnel matters, the president plans to begin searches for a permanent provost and a dean of the College of Architecture next spring. Bryan High School Cheyenne's dance team is in New York City preparing to perform at tomorrow's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
They're actually one of the last groups in the parade, and so they bring in Santa Claus.
Coach Taylor Torres Martinez says the 12 seniors were involved in rehearsals 17 hours after leaving Bryan last Saturday morning at 1 a.m. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Brazos Running Company has moved to Century Square. Same passion for running and fitness and for finding the right shoe that fits your stride and style, now with so much more. In addition to the sought-after running shoe brands like On and Hoka, Brazos Running Company now carries Birkenstock shoes, and they are the only place in town to carry Viore clothing, one of the hottest athletic wear brands in the country. Both make great gifts. So come shop Aggie-owned and operated Brazos Running Company, now located in Century Square below Star Cinema Grill in College Station.
The flagship station for Aggie athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and Aggie broadcast sponsors, Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue, Cherry Rafino with Coldwell Banker Apex Realty, and Park at Tradition's Exceptional Senior Living. Here's a big gig to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Zach Taylor with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This Sports Minute is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click HilcoSupply.com. Texas A&M football finally got back in the win column last Saturday, snapping a 6-game losing skid with a 20-3 victory over UMass. Now, after the game, Aggie defensive lineman Albert Regis was shown standing next to the Yell leaders and mimicking their hand signals while the War Hymn played.
It was a good moment to, celebrate a win and then also do something new. Because last time I checked, I never seen a player go join them. So I thought, hey, let's try something new.
Albert and the guys will look to keep the good times rolling this Saturday when they welcome 5th-ranked LSU to town. Now, to get Coach's Take, tune into the Jimbo Fisher Coaches Show tonight from 8 to 9 on 1620, 94.5 WTAW. A&M women's basketball is back home this afternoon, playing host to Texas State. Tip-off is at 4 o'clock at Reed Arena with broadcast right here on The Zone. Swimmer Baylor Nelson has been tabbed the SEC Men's Freshman of the Week following his performance at the Art Adamson Invitational. Nelson helped lead the Ags to victory by tallying 4 top finishes and notching a pair of NCAA championship automatic qualifying times. And A&M volleyball players Allison Fields and Elena Karakasi have earned spots on the 2022 College Sports Communicators Women's Volleyball Division I Academy All-District Team. And that's been your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Zach Taylor.
Everything in life has rules, and The Zone has prize rules for all contesting. You can check them out at zone1150.com. You may know you can win once every 30 days. There can only be one winner per household per month. You have 30 days to pick up your prizes. You have to be 18 or older to win. You have to present a legal ID to claim your prize. All prizes are non-transferable and not for resale. To make sure you do know all the rules, or if you have any questions about the prize rules, make sure to visit zone1150.com. Zone1150.com.
If I'm gonna do this, I'll need my news team at my side.
News team, assemble!
Howdy, Aggieland. Welcome to the SEC.
Our program will be built on 4 principles in which I talk about all the time: toughness, effort, discipline, and pride.
Dang it! I'm going to have to buy that boy cream cone.
Now I'm distracted on my point. What were you talking about?
It's bullcrap. All I care about is winning. Show me the dang baby.
You do it till they do it right, and then you do it till they can't do it wrong.
Go get him. Why are you dancing around? Eat him like he's a steak.
He fits what TexAgs radio is about. He fits into what the listeners are going to want. He's a pro on every level.
It's Nuño and the crew on TexAgs Radio. Right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
Hey, hit records on my demo. Did y'all boys not get the memo?
Well, hello, friends. Happy Thanksgiving Eve, and welcome into the show that we call the Cough Show. No, it's TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It is the Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. I've got the hoodie himself, Olin Buchanan, who brings the heat every morning. Good morning, OB.
Good morning. I guess I'm trying to follow your lead.
The hoodie week?
Yeah,
I've done hoodies this week, yeah.
You even had the stacked one on earlier this week, I believe.
Isn't that the same one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I had that one.
Like
Yeah, I wore it for the first time, I think, ever this week.
I think ever since Halloween, I've just been
hoodie season,
trying to, become the Nuño imposter type of thing.
You should, man. Your hair looks better than mine.
Well, let's not get crazy.
Well, let's get crazy, buddy. So, hey, I did have a Thanksgiving topic.
Okay.
So, hold on. I
love Thanksgiving.
I'm not a huge let's have a show topic guy, and then fill up the 3-hour show. Every once in a while, I think it's good to have a show topic. Today's the day before Thanksgiving, so I'm asking. It doesn't have to be your favorite side dish, but what's your favorite meal at Thanksgiving? Favorite side dish? Because I think different cultures have Thanksgiving overall in the United States. Everybody has the same things. In a Cuban house, we throw in a little Cuban flair to it.
That's so that rice with the black beans
arroz,
in it, made with the coconut
negros.
Milk?
No, we don't do the coconut milk, but we do arroz y frijoles negros. We do yuca on Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Yeah, so we do a little bit of that. Or I think as you guys call it, you guys, Americans, yuca.
Yeah,
or yucca.
Yucca. The wife, being from having roots in Honduras, we get a lot of that rice with the black beans in it, but she makes it with coconut milk and
delicious. Yeah,
it's pretty tasty.
So, what is your favorite side dish?
Oh, dressing.
Dressing.
Yeah, I mean it's the only time I eat it. Now we used to do turkey and dressing at Christmas too, but that was when Mom was with us, and she's passed on. But so now it's just Thanksgiving, and I really like it.
Yeah,
I mean I really like it.
You like dressing?
I really like it with some brown gravy on it. Mixing it in with my turkey.
I'm not a big dressing guy.
I love it.
Yeah?
I love it. My grandmother used to make it straight from cornbread and, have some celery in it. Oh, yeah, I like dressing. I look forward to the dressing more than the turkey, which, by the way, and I know we're probably not supposed to do this. I've never really liked turkey. And then I found the famous meat market here in town that
I haven't been yet.
That sells the smoked turkey.
Oh, ay que rico está eso.
It is amazing. I discovered that like 4 years ago, and I go every year. I bought 2 of the Reedfield smoked turkeys this year. And look, they're not even a sponsor as far as I know.
Yep.
And I'm just telling you something that's really good. So there
you go. So I said this to Dalton the other day. Do you consider macaroni part of a Thanksgiving? Because I feel like I have it often on Thanksgiving.
We have it.
I love macaroni.
We don't have anything green. You know what I hate? I wish they wouldn't even put it, and we're having it. And I wish they wouldn't even put it on the table. I don't know why people like it. It's a survey, yes or no.
Green
bean casserole.
I knew you were going there.
It looks like someone threw up.
Yeah,
and put some toasted onions on it.
Yeah, I'm not a big green bean guy anyway. I eat it, but like it's not my thing. No.
I like green beans the way, southern green beans, where there's so much meat in it, you hardly taste the green beans.
Yeah.
But other than green bean casserole, there will be nothing green on our table.
Nothing green on your table. Huh. No. I think we'll have green.
We won't have salad.
No salad.
We won't have green beans. We won't, except for in the casserole. We won't have peas.
No peas. What are you doing tomorrow?
I'm eating and watching. I'll try to sleep late. I won't.
Okay.
I'll get up. I'll spend a little time talking to my son and his friends who are there and everybody else. And then people start arriving. I will look forward to watching the Lions. Then I'll look forward to watching the Cowboys.
Okay.
And then I'll probably watch the Egg Bowl.
Okay.
Or whatever. And back and forth to whatever game is NFL games on.
A lot of football. Yeah.
That's what I'll do. And and in between, I will eat. I will relax any thoughts I have about food. I will eat. I will eat dessert, maybe 2, maybe 3. It's Thanksgiving. It's time to just gorge, enjoy. Don't worry about the calories or anything. Just for that day, it's like The Purge. You know the movie The Purge?
Yeah. I've never watched it, but you do
kill people, do anything you want, anything. That day, I'm not going to kill anybody except maybe myself.
Right.
But that day, everything goes, and then toward the end of the day, I'll probably have to purge.
Yeah, you'll definitely have to purge, no doubt about that. So typically, it is just football, but this year on Thanksgiving, we've got a little World Cup. Oh, basketball? Is there basketball?
Well, I don't have a.
Oh, sorry.
I don't have a soccer ball to hit.
There's one down there.
Oh,
but
that's what.
If you want to wake up at 4 a.m., which I know you're typically awake anyway, it's Switzerland and Cameroon. No interest in that, right? Probably not.
I would like to visit Switzerland. I've never really wanted to visit Cameroon.
How about at 7 a.m., Uruguay?
Cameroon, isn't that those? I was going to say, isn't that those French cookies? But that's a macaroon.
Macaroon, yes.
Okay.
You got Uruguay and
Uruguay, actually, I like them.
You like them?
Yeah.
Why is that? Because they a couple years ago, what's his name? A bit of player?
No, I don't know anything about that. It's just they look like their fans look like they're always having a party. They're like the little stepbrother or whatever of the Brazilians. They're kind of like them.
Okay.
So I like the Uruguayans like that.
Well, then Group H, 10 a.m. I know you're into this one. Ghana versus Portugal.
Ghana and Portugal.
CR7, Ronaldo, plays there. Yeah, I knew you knew that. And then your favorite at 1 o'clock tomorrow, because there's a lot of soccer along with the NFL and college football. Brazil, Serbia.
See, I like the Brazilians.
You do? Do as the Brazilians. Just do it like they do.
Yeah, just do it like the Brazilians and the Uruguayans.
And I was surprised yesterday. Look at this. Look at his memory. Look at how much soccer he watches. You told me who scored yesterday for France?
The guy with the funny name.
Mbappe. Yeah, Mbappe. So Quinn was watching a little bit.
Yeah, I couldn't believe they had it on. And then it was funny. This is no lie. This is the guys on the street. So I sit there and I watched for about 5 minutes. And I'm just trying to, And I'm like, I just can't get into this. And I thought, but they were close to scoring goals. So I'm not going to. So I walked away.
They probably scored 3 goals.
No, they scored a goal. Like I heard them say it as soon as so I came back. And they never showed the replay because I didn't spend a lot of time. I came back to say, okay. And so I stood there and tried to watch it for a little while to see if I'd see it go. And then I'm talking about I walked away for like 10 seconds and they scored a goal.
If I remember correctly, that game was 4-1, the equivalent of a 28-7 typical NFL game.
I think that goal made it 3-1.
It did make it 3-1. Yeah. Yesterday, France wins 4-1. All right, that's enough soccer for right now. Any football thoughts from an A&M perspective as we get to Thanksgiving? Anything? How about this? Because I did want to ask you this. What are you thankful for sports-wise?
Oh, I got a lot of things to be thankful for sports.
A&M sports-wise.
Okay. I'm thankful that Connor Wigman has taken over as quarterback.
Yep.
I'm thankful that he is willing to run. I'm thankful that A&M still has a good future because of so many talented players in the lower classes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful that all indications are that Jimbo Fisher is going to give up play calling duties and hire an offense coordinator. I'm thankful for that.
I'm thankful for that too.
I'm thankful that I'm thankful that Devon Achane and Evan Stewart are probably going to be back in the lineup. But if they're not, I'm so thankful that I will have had a chance to watch Devon Achane, Damani Richardson, Antonio Johnson, and a lot of players of that ilk that have played for Texas A&M. I'm thankful that they've given us a lot of entertainment and joy watching them play at a high level while representing Texas A&M.
I hope I'm thankful for this season. And what I mean by that is I hope this disastrous season is worth it next year, that the necessary changes came because of this bottom that A&M has hit, right? And because of that, next year, all the things we had hoped for this year, but we kind of in the back of our mind maybe thought, I don't know about this offense. I don't know if they can really do it. I hope those things, because of this year, change, and now we're thankful for going through the tough times to get to the top that we anticipate or hope to see one day.
Yeah. I bet you've seen this movie. We'll talk about this later because I don't want to take up the whole first segment like we typically do.
That movie is coming up at 8:20. How about that? Whatever movie
Pain
that is.
and Gain.
Huh?
Pain and Gain.
Who's in it?
The
Rock.
Rock.
Oh, with Mark Wahlberg. I haven't watched it. I've seen the trailer.
Right, it's a big muscle guys. I thought you'd be all over that movie. I thought your favorite two movies would be Pain and Gain and Magic Mike. And Scarface.
Okay.
Three of them.
I can guarantee you I've never watched Magic Mike.
I haven't either. The wife went with some girlfriends. I said, yeah, go, so I don't have to go watch that crap.
You just put Muscles and Magic Mike on me on the air. Oh, my.
They're muscular guys.
I don't like other muscular guys. I like me being the muscular guy.
I thought maybe you just like the idea of being,
No, oh, my God.
How did you get there?
I'm going to go anorexic for the rest of the year. Thanks, Opie.
Either that or you're going to start stripping.
Well, my OnlyFans page is private. All right, let's go behind the glass. You're familiar with OnlyFans?
I've heard about it, but I've never actually experienced it.
I've seen your browser history.
Do not tell OB about OnlyFans.
I know what it is. I just don't.
Oh, boy.
I don't do stuff like I don't partake of such things.
Miss Gavin, you had something to say?
I would really hope that you do not partake in the OnlyFans action.
He doesn't.
If it requires paying, I ain't doing it.
Yeah. Newspaper, OnlyFans, you name it.
New York Times crossword puzzles.
I ain't paying for nothing.
Nothing.
If I don't have to.
We are paying by the hour for Nick Savage.
Nick Savage.
Actually, by the year. Nick, good morning, sir.
Good morning, y'all. Going back to y'all's conversation about Thanksgiving foods and whatnot. OB, I'm with you. Turkey, not good. Ham is where it's at. Mac and cheese is definitely the best side. And that's really it. What about like sweet potato?
Love sweet potato.
With some marshmallows on top. At least that's what my dad.
So you just ruined it for him.
That's
because he likes to. David wants
you've been out to eat with me a lot.
David wants the raw sweet potato. Just clean the dirt off and let him eat it. As soon as you put some cinnamon and some brown sugar and some melt some marshmallows on top of it, you've lost him.
Yeah,
because he might gain an ounce.
David's plate would just be unseasoned turkey, and
we're talking about Magic David here. He's not going to be. He's not going to be eating that stuff.
For the record, I think I eat more than you on our road trips.
Yeah, it's all broccoli.
No, you can't. You could have a pound of broccoli. It's like 35 calories. No, not true.
You're the only guy I've ever seen ordered wings with a side of broccoli.
Well, and I did have some French fries. I had a couple of yours because you got the extra thing. I had
I
a
have a couple.
I had 9.
Hey, let me have a couple of those from the fat guy, but just to show I'm still one of the people.
Nick, what else?
I don't know, man. Just ready for the break. Ready to watch a lot of football, like y'all said, and it's gonna be a fun weekend. Good to see the family again.
No World Cup for you?
No, none at all. Nil, as you might say, David.
I do want to ask you how last night was. I know you got to hang out here with the great Josh Pate.
Yeah, it was cool. I got to hang out and kind of see their production. That's more so what I was looking at and seeing how they run things, seeing what I can learn from that, and got to meet Josh. He's a really nice dude, and it was cool to see. Really impressive. To be honest with you, I had never really listened or watched one of his shows all the way through. Last night was the first time I ever have, and I'm really impressed. I mean, he's spot on a lot of things.
I think he is very fair in his analysis. Yep. He's tough when he needs to be tough. He's not hot sports take Jake guy. Like he's really good at what he does. I appreciate him. He texted me this morning and he felt weird sitting in my chair. I was like, buddy, that chair,
He's a big muscled up guy too.
Yeah, if I like Magic Mike, just saying, Yeah. I've never watched Magic Mike. Make sure that's clear. Kennedy, don't answer if you have. Welcome back to the show, Kennedy.
I bet she's watched it.
No, we're not
No,
going there.
I actually have not. My mother did not let me watch it when I was younger, and I still have not.
Didn't that movie just come out?
I don't think so. I mean, there might have been
It came out when I lived in Tennessee. Because
has it been that long, really?
Because I remember my wife going with her girlfriends.
They're making a new one.
Magic Dave.
I think it's Dr. Mike now.
Magic
Dave. Let's get the show back on track. Kennedy, shall we?
We shall. Okay, so women's basketball is set to take on Texas State today at 4 p.m. in Reed Arena. And volleyball's Allison Fields and Elena Caracassi earned spots on the 2022 College Sports Communicators Women's Volleyball Division I Academic All-District team after successful seasons on the court and in the classroom.
Congrats.
That was a mouthful, but yes, congratulations. And then in men's swimming and diving, Baylor Nelson was tabbed as the Southeastern Conference Men's Freshman of the Week, announced by the league office Tuesday afternoon.
Congratulations, Mr. Baylor Nelson.
Yeah. That's an underrated sport, diving.
Yeah.
That's hard to do. I could never do it until they put the can opener in. Then I could probably do that. But to twist your body and go into the water just perfectly without making a splash.
What sports right now, if we did like an Olin Olympics, would you be really good at right now, like today?
Right today?
No, okay, in a week.
None.
Baseball. Like
no.
I'm not talking like 95 mile per hour. Like
no,
we go to the batting cage.
I was never
60.
good at baseball. I was never good at baseball.
Wide receiver, catch a.
I can catch. Yeah.
Throw.
I've got a rag arm.
Okay.
Plus, I don't know if you've ever noticed my shoulders all been jacked up for.
You've told me
30 years.
Kick a soccer ball? I can't.
I mean, I can kick it. I could kick
with your toe though, not like.
I mean, I could kick when I was 2 years old. You put the ball, roll out, you kind of toddle over there and kick it. Hey, I'm playing soccer. European kickball.
Let's go to Big Shots right now. One place that allows anybody to come except Olin. Anthem Kitchen and Bar. Just kidding. You're allowed to go there, too. The restaurant inside of Big Shots Golf. A sports bar built for every fan. It's a great hangout place. Plenty of seating for your entire crew. So, Obi, I know you got a lot of people in town this week. Not a bad idea to go check out Big Shots. You can go there. You can eat. You can watch your games out there. You can go play a little golf out there, right? Scratch-cooked menu items out there. They've got fun each day with the dueling piano events, the trivia nights for happy hour. You name it, they have it out there. Handcrafted cocktails, brunch, and of course, bold flavor. Fresh food made from scratch, straight from the Big Shots Golf Kitchen. Become a fan of the Anthem's favorite menu items like the PB and Jam Burger. Masterpieces loaded up with 2 patties, crisp peppercorn bacon, onions caramelized to perfection, and wait for it, peanut butter and wild berry jam to give it a namesake. It is Big Shots Golf. Visit the website, anthem.bigshotsgolf.com.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. Applications are open for the Downtown Bryan Lighted Christmas Parade on Thursday, December 8th. Apply online by December 1st at destinationbryan.com. The 27th annual Food for Families food drive is Wednesday, December 7th from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Brazos Center. All proceeds benefit the Brazos Valley Food Bank. More information is online at kbtx.com. The theater company of Bryan College Station presents Titanic the Musical. Performances run December 1st through the 11th. Purchase tickets online at theatercompany.com/tickets. When you don't know where to turn to 211 Texas, a free, easy-to-remember helpline that connects you to community services. Simply dial 211 or visit 211texas.org. 30 minutes after the clock hits 0 at Kyle Field. Talk about it with Dusty and Louie. Talk about it on the Zone Call-In Show, brought to you by TexAgs. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
Due to the Texas heat, humidity, not to mention the multiple hail and windstorms, most roofs don't last their full lifetime. But since 2006, AmeriStarRoofing.com has been helping Texans protect their homes from age and storm-related damages, and they have multiple adjusters on staff working directly with your insurance company to ensure that you get the coverage you need to make your home look new again. Call Ameristar Roofing now to schedule your free roof inspection, 979-446-9874. AmeriStarRoofing.com.
Howdy, Ags. Grocholski Sausage in Bremond has been making their famous homemade Polish sausage using the original family recipe since 1952. Homemade smoked bacon, beef sticks, jerky, and summer sausage using authentic family recipes. Make Grocholski Sausage your #1 source for your next holiday party or tailgate. Grocholski Sausage offers custom deer processing with the same quality craftsmanship they started 3 generations ago. Aggie owned and operated, Grocholski Sausage is on Main Street in Bremond. Gig 'em. WPI needs a service technician to diagnose and repair heavy equipment for their Bryan location. This full-time position comes with a company vehicle, insurance, 401k, paid holidays, paid vacation, and competitive pay if you or someone you know is hardworking, dependable, and looking for full-time employment in the construction equipment repair industry. Apply in person with Jesse James at WPI in Bryan, Highway 21 East at Marino Road. WPI, an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, it's Keyshawn Johnson from Keyshawn J. Will and Max. They told us we can give away anything we choose. So, we're giving away cash. You want to talk about money? We're giving away $10,000 a day. And all you have to do is listen to us for a chance to win.
You can win $2,500 an hour every hour, weekday mornings 5 to 8 here on The Zone with Keyshawn J. Will and Max, powered by WC Tractor.
No satisfaction here on the show, TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. So I got a couple of things to read on the YouTube chat, and then I want you to respond to them, OB, because I've got an answer for the peoples. First off, Josiah White says, good morning, love the show. Deep fried turkey over smoked or baked every time. Our friend Randy Trujillo says he had a Costa Vida yesterday. It was really, really good. Yeah, it was.
I was there Friday night.
And then here is the question from Paul Smith on the YouTube chat. David, a question for you. Do you think the same standard will be applied to the football as was applied to the volleyball coach, and production is money really the change in standard? And I'm going to answer that a couple different ways. Well, I'll let you answer it because I don't – I'm going to give you what – and I love Bird, by the way. In fact, I watched Maverick last night. Finally got to watch the Top Gun movie. It's really good. A little ridiculous at times, but really good movie. This year, they went 7-11, 9th in the SEC. Last year, they were 7th in the SEC. They were tied for 3rd, tied for 5th, and 9th in her time at A&M. I would say overall, the last couple years, they were trending downward. And I would say this is Jimbo's first blip on the radar. If he has back-to-back years like this, now we're having a conversation similar to Bird, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think absolutely. In fact, if A&M has this kind of season next year, I would be surprised if they didn't make a move, even with that huge buyout.
You got to see progress, and I don't know what that. I don't know if that means 9 wins or I don't know. I think you have to go through the season to know what that means.
I just think I've said it many times. A&M should demand excellence, and understanding that sometimes there is a extenuating circumstances. So you can give somebody a pass here and there, but A&M should demand excellence. And I want Jimbo Fisher to be the coach here. I really do. I like the way he recruits. I like the way he can set a game plan and motivate and all those things. I just think that, well, we've talked about it before. You can look all over college football, and I think you can look at the extremes. The best coach in the history of college football has someone else as an offensive coordinator and calls the plays. Maybe the worst coach to ever win a national championship, Ed Orgeron, had somebody else run the offense and call the plays.
Yep, you're right about that. Let's go to Kennedy Cabinet at the News and Social Center. We didn't let her do her socialing. I know you got some text messages for us on the A&B text line. That number, by the way, 979-693-1150. A&B, a College Station branch of the Amarillo National Bank. Good Texas banking, the website, amb.com. Ms. Cabin.
We have a couple people coming in saying, by the way, Dirty Rice is the best side.
Okay. Must be Louisiana folks.
Yes.
Are you a big Dirty Rice guy or not?
Not a big Dirty Rice guy. I mean, I've had it, and it can be tasty, but it's just not my favorite.
Yep.
Nothing beats dressing, but go on.
I agree with Olin. Nothing beats dressing, especially at my family Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What time tomorrow?
I'm thinking around lunch. I don't really know. My mom doesn't really keep me in the loop. I just kind of show up when I need to show up.
Just make sure you're there ready to eat.
Just ready to roll. All right.
Yep. That's typically how it goes in my house. We have somebody saying, this is back-to-back years of below expectations. We thought it was the backup quarterback last year, but now, no, it wasn't.
I think that's a fair point. It is back-to-back years under below expectations, but I think the first year that we don't have an excuse for it, meaning last year, if the excuse is valid now or not, there was an excuse. This year, there isn't an excuse.
Except, I've just said you got to demand excellence. But you also have to – we said there's no excuse, and there probably isn't. I mean, they lost Appalachian State, for goodness sake. But the fact of the matter is they've had – what did we say, 35 players that have missed games, multiple games from injury or suspension?
That's right.
I mean, now, again, I would say next year you're on the hot seat, which I never thought would happen. I never thought Jimbo Fisher would be on the hot seat here.
And to be honest with you, he would have been, I think. I mean, would he have been on the hot seat had they lost UMass?
Should have been. I think losing to UMass should be a fireable offense. I remember
UMass the same year you lose to App State. Absolutely.
Well, one year, Arkansas had it right, and I don't say that very often, but we're going way back when you were probably in grade school. Jack Crow was the coach at Arkansas, and like the second game of the year, they lost to the Citadel. Got fired.
Yep.
Some things you just don't do. Like when Charlie Strong lost to Kansas at Texas for the first time before it became, something that wasn't a rarity.
Let's do this.
That year.
Let's hit a break. We'll come back with games to watch and your power rankings. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers in the Rollo Insurance Studio. And this is the Go Hour presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. All right, let's, where to go? I had something to talk to you guys about. Can't find it. And we'll just do Association of Former Students. How about that? Good friends over there, Randy and Lexi and Porter and Scott. Great group over there who do amazing work. And if you haven't visited IamTheWhy.com, you're missing out. You're home today. A lot of you are. A lot of you are not working. And you're listening to the show. Give it a few minutes during the break and check out IamTheWhy.com. Tell me which story you like the best out there, because they're basically stories about Aggies, their lens, their perspective, their time at A&M and beyond. They have created this website to kind of show their mission, what the association is all about, which is giving back to Aggies all around the world with scholarships, student assistance programs, Aggie Band, Silver Taps, Ring Day, class reunions, muster, tailgate, traveling Aggies, yada, yada, yada. It's not, they don't just take care of former students, even though it's in their name. They take care of current students as well. Check out IamTheWhy.com. Again, that website, IamTheWhy.com. It is the Association of Former Students.
He's gone to L.A. to interview Hugh Jackman, Brad Pitt, and Mark Wahlberg. Now he hangs out with Billy and O.B. It's David Nuño with TexAgs Radio on the Zone.
You're invited to a feast of gourmet delights, for Specs has the reds, rosés, and the whites. Thanksgiving's for family and turkey's for sharing. When it comes to your palate, wine pairing is caring. With the rolls all buttered and the spices just right, it's time for some wine. Grab a glass or a flight. Specs-friendly experts will help bring the cheer, always with lower prices on wine, spirits, and beer. As the plates are all passed and the Specs glasses refilled, you'll feel like a pro and your guests will be thrilled. Specs is your headquarters with savings galore. When it comes to selection, we always have more. Specs loves holidays and we do them quite well. But we won't house your in-laws. We're not a hotel. By the bottle or case, we'll cure your wine cravings. When you stock up at Specs, it's cheers to savings.
Come experience the warehouse at CC Creations, the world's greatest Aggie shopping experience. With 28,750 square feet, the warehouse at CC Creations is the Guinness World Records title holder for the largest collegiate merchandise store in the world. We are your one-stop shop for your entire family to stock up on Aggie apparel and gifts. Shop in-store 7 days a week or online at thewarehouse@cc.com. Keep the tradition. Shop the warehouse, located at 114 Holloman, just 1 mile south of Kyle Field.
Since 1957, Slovakic Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovakic is the official sausage of Texas A&M Athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovakic. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh kolaches from their bakery on your way out. Slovakic Sausage, Highway 60 in Snook.
The biggest names in sports are on ESPN Radio.
Joe Davis, New Orleans Saints linebacker.
We just keep chopping wood, keep sharpening the axe day by day. When you have a good process, that's what you focus on.
Julian Love, New York Giants defensive back.
It's been good to leave your house or whatever on Monday, and you see a lot of people on the streets just walking wearing the Giants gear.
Joined now by the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, New Orleans Saints safety.
I think we got enough fight in us, and obviously we got enough football left, so I believe in us, no doubt.
Former Eagles safety, Pro Football Hall of Famer, Weapon X, Brian Dawkins.
It wasn't that moment that makes me want to rip his head off. It's just that he was in the other jersey. That's the way it works.
Curtis Martin, former Jets running back and Pro Football Hall of Famer.
I love having Key as a teammate. He was one of those guys who you knew you could depend on, no matter what, came hell or high water.
Listen in to ESPN Radio, weeknights and weekends on Sports Radio, 1150 and 93.7 FM.
It is TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Go Hour, which is presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. All right, we're going to go through some games you want to watch here in a moment, but let's go to Kennedy Cabin, who's got some text messages for us on the A&B text line.
We have a lot of happy Thanksgivings coming in. So Chase in Houston said, happy Thanksgiving to everyone over there. Hope y'all have a wonderful holiday.
That's nice.
And enjoy your time with family. And thankful for the great friendship with y'all.
Yeah, appreciate that. Chase is great.
We're thankful for all our listeners and our fans, if you can call them that, as misguided as they are.
Chase in Houston is a guy that I've known. He interned for me back in the day, and
he's a huge guy, right?
Yeah, he's not a small guy, and I mean that in like strong, like
football or
Paul
basketball
Bunyan.
or baseball.
He played baseball at several places, but I've known him for a long time. So he texted me when there was a report that Gabe was stepping down, and he was like, "Hey, what are you doing about this?" And then I didn't respond. And I think he texted Raheel, and I think Raheel also, but he put the dots together early on before when everybody's trying to figure out.
You were kind of like Lane Kiffin to Auburn kind of thing.
I was kind of like Lane Kiffin, yeah, except a lot more class, I hope.
Setting the bar pretty low there. But.
I hope. Kenny, you had an idea for it. Oh, you had one more text and another topic.
Yes. So Durham Doc said, thankful for you folks. Beat the hell out of LSU. And then he also added, really going to miss Bird. And I agree with him.
Yeah, I like Bird a lot.
I like her a lot.
I watched Maverick for her. Not for her, but she had recommended it for so long. It was really good. So we're going to miss Bird around here. You also had a question for us, or for OB.
Yes. So
what
Olin,
question? Yes.
So very well knowingly, your son Quinn goes to LSU. Has there been? I know how LSU fans can get. I've been to a couple tailgates when they were down here in College Station. Is there any talking mess going on in y'all's household?
There is, and I even told him yesterday, I said, son, let me apologize because I should have raised you better, and you've become a douche. So he's going to the game, and I think I talked about this yesterday. He's got tickets, and for he and 5 of his friends, and I said, I understand you're going to go, and you're going to root for LSU. I get that. It's your school. But you will be respectful. You will be respectful, or I ain't paying for next semester.
Buddy, I appreciate that so much because I think there's certain relationships where trash talking is part of the deal. But, like, even though my family's all Aggie and my wife went to Texas, we're an Aggie family, I wouldn't rub it into her face when A&M beats Texas one day soon, right? Like, I think in the house, keep it respectful.
They bought this stuff that a shirt that says LSU Dad and a pen that says LSU Dad. And I said, I'm not wearing that.
Yeah, no.
And of course, when he got home, I was yesterday. I had on a TexAgs shirt, and he and his friend that he brought with me start ragging me about, why are you wearing that?
Well, what I say,
I said, you know what? This paid for you to go to LSU, punk.
If by any chance A&M finds a way to win, maybe at 3:00 in the morning, 4:00, you go up and you wake them up and you remind them that A&M won.
I'm not the big trash talker kind of guy. I was early in my life, and I've learned that, let somebody wallow in their misery. What I'll do is I'll, be decked out in maroon and everything. Everything I got will be saying A&M. And, depending on what the score was, I might be able to, say A&M won 20-3.
Right.
I might say, hey, you want to go out and get something to eat, something that costs about $20.03.
I know you were riveted by this, but Gary on the TexAgs chat, by the way, is retiring. Today's his last day of work, so
congratulations.
He also updates us on Japan just tied it versus Germany. They're tied 1-1. Germany is like a heavyweight.
That's the Axis Bowl.
It is like the Axis Bowl. Yes. So tied 1-1 in 76 minutes.
Is Italy waiting on the winner? I don't know.
I don't think Italy made this World Cup.
Okay, so it's just Italy wasn't a major factor in WW2 either.
Well, there you go.
They got knocked out pretty early.
Let's before we go to the games we want to watch.
Kennedy's looking at me like, how can you be saying this? Read your history books.
I'm a history buff, and I have read my history books. Olin, you just have a special way of making things a lot more interesting.
Let's get 50 Shades into this college football playoffs and look at the rankings. Sorry. Let's take a look at them. Number 1, still Georgia. They would theoretically take on number 4, TCU.
That'd be an interesting game.
That would be. Georgia would win by 50. And then on the other side, I'm sorry, no disrespect to TCU. I just think Georgia's that good. Ohio State, Michigan. That's not going to happen.
That played Saturday.
They play Saturday. Would they play again, you think?
It's possible.
Yeah.
I think it's very possible, especially if it's a competitive game. I think what they would need to have happen is it would have to be a very competitive game, like it was in 2006 when it was 42-39, and then I think USC would have to lose.
So a bunch of one-loss teams, if it is not that competitive, does USC get in?
I think they do. I think if they beat Notre Dame and then follow that up by beating probably either Oregon or Washington in the and maybe Washington.
Yeah.
So beating Washington in the Pac-12 championship game, then again the committee's supposed to give extra consideration to a conference champion.
And if I'm guessing LSU's going to lose to Georgia. Okay. Potentially, you have a 2-loss USC team, a 2-loss.
Wait, where's a 2-loss USC?
If they lose.
If they lose.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, there's a scenario out there where there's a couple of 2-loss teams trying to get into the playoffs, and Michigan or Ohio State will have 1 loss, so they would probably get that. TCU, do you see them losing?
Everybody keeps saying, they're going to lose, and this was the week against Texas, and they didn't. I think they're going to beat Iowa State, and then I bet you they play K-State and probably win it again. So at this time, why doubt TCU? I mean, they're like Houdini. They find a way to escape no matter what situation they're in.
So let's go through the games that you want to watch this weekend. OB, where do you want to start?
Yeah, I'm going to start at the bottom. I wish I had music. I need you to do to hum "Hail to the Victors."
Well, how about this? Before we get to Michigan, Ohio State, that gives Sean enough time in the back of Marina to find that.
"Hail to the Victors." Dun, dun, dun,
And
dun,
when we
dun.
get to that game, start playing it. There you go.
All right, now, the first one, number 12 Oregon at number 23 Oregon State. At least those were the rankings last time I saw them. Oregon needs to. This is called the Civil War. It's a better in-state rivalry than a lot of people give them credit for. Because they were so bad, both of them, for so long. But now they're both pretty good. Oregon needs to win to get into the Pac-12 championship game to absolutely clinch it, because if they lose, Washington could get in to play USC, provided Washington beats Washington State. So a lot of moving parts going on there, but Oregon just needs to go out and win. But Oregon State would like nothing more than to, what are they saying around here? Than to urinate in their breakfast cereal.
Yep.
Yeah. Then South Carolina at number 9, Clemson. This for a decade has been just a mismatch, right? But Clemson, even though they only have one loss, they're still trying to get into the playoff. They got faint hopes.
Yep.
But they've been more vulnerable than usual.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just saw South Carolina upset Tennessee and blow them out. So now South Carolina looks capable, and that's as nasty an interstate rivalry as there is. You might remember about 10 years ago, I think both teams, or maybe it's just South Carolina, just decided we're not going to bowl games because they had a big fight. So that's a lot of good nastiness in that game. Number 21, Tulane at number 25, Cincinnati. The winner will play host in the AAC championship game. And you know what? The loser could too, but that would require a lot of other moving parts with USC would have to lose to South Florida. The Central Florida has beaten both Tulane and Cincinnati.
Wow.
So if they beat South Florida, they're in.
Right.
Number 18, Notre Dame against number 7, USC. This is a rivalry, and when the game is played in South Bend, it's in October. When it played in LA, they play it in November. Big rivalry. The Irish are, they bounce back from a bad start. They're a pretty good football team.
Pretty good, yeah.
USC has playoff hopes. Notre Dame would love to end those hopes.
Absolutely. And before you do that, let's get the song ready. Is the song ready, Sean? Go ahead. There we go. Is this your jam right here?
Dun, 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 dun. This is for Richard Zane. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Okay, so Michigan, number 3, and number 2, Ohio State, arguably the most intense rivalry in football. The Big Ten East is at stake, which means probably the Big Ten Championship is at stake, which means the college football playoff is at stake, and perhaps a national championship bid, a chance to win is at stake. And on top of that, they're like I said, they're number 2 and number 3. So much history. Great game, should be great game. I've got to see that. That's the best game in college football maybe this year.
Or at
least the best matchup.
Another quick update. Japan has just taken the lead over Germany 2-1.
Bonsai!
Right now we're talking Brazos Running Company.
Sweep that leg. Wait.
What is Johnny's last name?
Depp?
No, in Karate Kid. Johnny what? God,
LaRussa.
No, that's Daniel LaRusso.
Oh.
Johnny, what? Come on. Kennedy, help me.
I can't
remember. Johnny on
Knoxville.
Fever.
No, from Cobra Kai. Somebody.
Manziel.
No. What is Johnny's name on freaking Karate Kid? Johnny.
It's not Manziel.
Karate Kid. What is his
Lawrence.
name?
Cash.
Lawrence.
Johnny Lawrence. Thank you. Oh my God.
Cash is my favorite. Cash is a good one.
Oh gosh, what is wrong with my memory?
Knoxville Cash.
Not Manziel. Not Cash. None of those guys.
Depp.
Not Johnny Depp. When did Johnny Depp get an accent?
I don't know. Isn't he from Owensboro, Kentucky?
Yeah, and Madonna got an accent, and all these people getting accents as they get older.
Yeah.
When are you going to get a British accent?
You'll never see me with an accent.
Well,
I think Olin would have like a very thick New York accent. Like it would just develop out of nowhere, and one day he walks in the office and it's just he's like from Boston, and it
Wait,
came
I
out
thought
of
you
nowhere.
said New York.
Hey,
No,
how you
it's the
doing?
same. Not the same thing, but like the same kind of vibe.
Drop a, hey, how you doing?
Oh, yeah, you doing? Tried to do Andrew Dice Clay. Hey.
Hey.
Anyway, so those are the games.
Hickory dickory dock.
Yeah.
Brazos Running Company.
Keep going.
I was actually going to keep going, and I realized
that you don't want to get fired.
No, not only that, I just want to pay homage to the Brazos Running Company because they have the best running shoes out there, locally owned and operated, an Aggie specialty running store with an outstanding selection of running gear and shoes. They've got brands like On and Hoka. If you're a walker, a runner, just into fitness at all, you need to check out Brazos Running Company. They've got the right shoes, and they make all the difference in the world. They're passionate about running and about finding the right shoe for you. They have a new location with the same expert level of service and so much more. Remember the great brands. They've got new brands, Birkenstock. They've got Viore clothing, one of the hottest athletic wears out there. Remember, Brazos Running Company for your holiday shopping. It is Brazos Running Company, now located in Century Square below the Star Cinema Grill and College Station. Brazos Running Company.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. The theater company of Bryan College Station invites you to their 34th season reveal party, Sunday, December 4th at 5 p.m. Help make a local seniors Christmas special this year. Adopt a senior and shop for their wish list items, or volunteer to pack and deliver gifts to nursing homes. Find more information about Senior Christmas at bbcog.org. This Christmas, love beyond. The Salvation Army, in partnership with Bryan Broadcasting, presents Angel Tree 2022. Adopt an angel, make a donation, or volunteer your time. Find more information at salvationarmybcs.org. Submit your nonprofit or charitable event by email to news@wtaw.com. Listen to the Aggies beat the hell out of LSU Saturday, starting with the Learfield pregame show at 5 and kickoff at 6 on the Zone 1150 AM, 93.7 FM, or online at radioaggieland.com. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
Christmas in the Park is returning to College Station's Stephen C. Beachy Central Park from 6 to 10 p.m. on December 2nd and 3rd. Come and enjoy old-fashioned hay rides, cookies, hot cocoa, live entertainment, actual snow slides, photo with Santa and reindeer, adopt a holiday parks pal, and more. Enjoy the 1 million lights that bring Central Park to life. Visit cstx.gov/Christmas for all the Christmas in the Park details. That's cstx.gov/Christmas.
Does the insulated glass in your windows refuse to come clean no matter how hard you work? If so, the glass unit has probably lost its seal. You might notice moisture between the panes, a hazy look, shadows, or even the growth of some white mold. If so, it's time to call your friends at Intercon. Not only are these conditions unattractive, but you no longer have an insulated barrier in your windows. There are a number of options available to you to remedy lost seals. Most options allow you to retain your existing window frame and just replace the bad glass with a new sealed unit. Clear insulated glass offers an insulating pocket, but no protection against solar heat gain. Low-E insulated glass adds a coating between the sheets of glass. The coating blocks about 80% of the solar heat gain, as well as the damaging UV rays of the sun. Another option is to trade out the entire window frame with a premium vinyl window. Since Intercon does both glass and windows, we can offer you a full complement of options. Call Intercon to get a free quote from a locally owned and managed business.
Whether you have new construction or an existing home, let the fine folks from Intercon help you keep your home energy efficient year-round. Call Brad Beard of Intercon today at 823-3639. That's 823-3639.
Call it group therapy, if you will. It's the Zone Call-In Show, and it's brought to you by TexAgs. 30 minutes after every A&M home football game. You can join me, I'm Louie, hi, hello, and Dusty. We'll take your calls. What just happened? Game day on the Zone all Saturday long is brought to you by T-Mobile, Big Shots Golf, Aggieland, David's Jewelry and Coin Exchange, Malik Heating and Air, and Gage Gandy Bail Bonds. Spend your game day Saturday on the Zone.
TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It is the Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. OB, we have kind of delayed the power rankings, and I know you've got A&M somewhere that's for the first time this year.
Yeah. Yeah, this won't take long. Just jump in whenever you disagree with me.
Okay.
Here's the way I have it now. Number 1, Georgia. Number 2, LSU. Number 3, Alabama. Number 4, Tennessee.
And that's because of the injury.
That's a big part. And the fact that they got housed by South Carolina.
Yep.
Number 5, I'm saying Mississippi State. Number 6, Arkansas. Number 7, Ole Miss.
Wow, they've dropped to 7.
Well, they just got beaten bad by Arkansas.
Yeah.
Number 8, South Carolina.
Who had a huge? Where were they last week? Do you remember?
Probably somewhere around 11.
Wow, so good for them.
Number 9, Kentucky. Number 10, Florida. Number 11, Auburn. 12, Missouri. 13, Vanderbilt. And number 14, Texas A&M.
Did you ever think
No, never in my wildest.
that Vandy would have not only a better season, would be better? They were just overall better.
They beat Florida, and A&M didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a better record. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's the final insult right there. I mean, that is the thing that we have to look at it. And you really can't deny it, right? Now, if A&M and Vanderbilt played, do I think A&M would win? Yeah, but haven't I been saying that like all year? Yeah, I think they'd win. Oh, well, South Carolina. I
think they'll win.
I think Auburn. Yeah, I mean,
but again, I can still, not even being a fan of A&M, I can still make a legitimate case that they have a chance to beat LSU.
Well, yeah.
I'm not betting them that they would, but I mean, these games have been close.
Hopefully you get all your guys back. And
as many of your guys back that you can get back. Yeah.
Right. And you don't do anything to help LSU out. And you come up with some different plays. Because if you're going to ask Connor Wigman and they haven't been, but if you're going to ask him to sit back in the pocket and wait for B.J. Ojulari or what's the guy, Ali Gay or Harold Perkins to just come at him, what have you seen all year that's going to tell you that offensive line and that protection is going to hold up? So if you come up with some schemes that's going to help him get away from some of that protection and get rid of the ball fast, then yeah, I think so.
Here's something that bugs me, OB, and it does bug me. And maybe it's the nature of the sport of football that once things have been set in motion, it's too difficult to change things. But when you're having this bad of a season, like, why can you not adjust major adjustments, not minor tweaks, mid-season? Like, because I think LSU, not that I watch them the same way, but LSU, South Carolina, these other schools have tweaked enough or done enough mid-season to play better and navigate through injuries with KJ Jefferson and give their teams a fighting chance. I don't know if A&M has changed their style very much this year.
They haven't. And here's another thing that they have to do. Now, again, I give credit to DJ Durkin. Last we talked about it. He moved LB Overton to linebacker and went with a 3-3. I don't necessarily love it, but they were trying to do something different.
Sure.
So they've got to do something different just to contain a running quarterback. I don't think with running backs that LSU can dominate A&M even with their running inside. LSU does not have a great offensive line.
No.
Of course, A&M's been very, very vulnerable, but you got to make sure Jaden Daniels doesn't beat you with his legs.
Well, all the running quarterbacks have, though.
They have.
They all have. OB, happy Thanksgiving, sir.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and everybody else.
Thankful for our friendship, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, when we come back here on TexAgs Radio, John Harris, the professor, will join us.
Another Johnny.
Another Johnny, yeah. Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny Harris, Johnny Cash. Johnny
At this point,
Manziel.
there's way too many to even count.
Who's Johnny?
Johnny Carson.
No, remember the movie?
Didn't see it. Is
Who's
it like
Johnny?
Magic Mike?
No, it was like a robot movie. What was it called? Who's Johnny? You don't remember that song?
No, I didn't know that one.
You know, God, what was the name of that movie? Who's Johnny's song? See if I have it before we run out of time. Who's Johnny's song? Can't. El DeBarge sang it. That's all I can tell you. Movie. What movie is it in? Oh my gosh, running out of time. 3, 2. I forget. Bye.
Looking for the Zone prize rules? Would you like to apply for a job at the Zone? Or need a phone number or email for the Zone? Visit zone1150.com. Would you like to sign up for the Zone All Access newsletter? Looking for podcasts of TexAgs Radio, The Louis Bellina Show, or Chip Howard? Or would you like to see the Zone's daily schedule? Visit zone1150.com. For more information, any questions, to contact us for everything and anything about the Zone, visit zone1150.com.
Did you get a call or message that mentioned Social Security that made you feel threatened or scared? That is not the Social Security Administration. Social Security will not threaten you, press you for personal information, or demand instant payment. Social Security does not accept payments by gift card, prepaid debit card, internet currency, or by mailing cash. Criminals use these forms of payment because they are hard to trace. Don't fall for it. Hang up, ignore them. Report this criminal activity to oig.ssa.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Like us on Facebook at Zone 1150. Follow us on Twitter at Zone 1150. Get connected now. Get connected now. With the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. This is KZNE College Station, Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the Zone. College Station police continue to investigate the circumstances of last weekend's collision of an SUV that collided with a Santa's Wonderland shuttle bus. CSPD yesterday identified those in the SUV as a man and a woman from Navasota. The driver who died was Anthony Dwayne Johnson, and the woman who was rescued by a tow truck driver is Sherntreese McGinty. CSPD also reports that the driver of the shuttle bus, who was rescued by a CSPD officer, Calvin Hill of Bryan, is hospitalized in Houston in serious condition. More construction will be taking place around the city of Bryan's new ball fields at the north end of Midtown Park. The city council at last week's meeting approved without discussion spending $107,000 to replace grass with synthetic turf in 10 areas of the Travis Athletic Complex. Irrigation lines that were previously installed will be capped. The contract also includes pouring a 30 by 90 foot concrete pad to store pitching mounds. The project will be funded through cost savings in other areas of the Travis complex. Texas A&M President Catherine Banks spent more than 1 hour earlier this month fielding questions from the university's faculty senate. The first question was whether administrators recognize the stress employees and students have had since her reorganization of the university.
I think I can unequivocally say that we all respect and are very appreciative of the time, effort, and energy that the faculty community has spent on the MGT Path Forward changes.
Regarding personnel matters, the president plans to begin searches for a permanent provost and a dean of the College of Architecture next spring. Bryan High School Cheyenne's dance team is in New York City preparing to perform at tomorrow's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
They're actually one of the last groups in the parade, and so they bring in Santa Claus.
Coach Taylor Torres Martinez says the 12 seniors were involved in rehearsals 17 hours after leaving Bryan last Saturday morning at 1 a.m. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
This Christmas, Love Beyond. The Salvation Army, in partnership with Bryan Broadcasting, presents Angel Tree. Show love to a local child in need by adopting an angel from the Angel Tree inside Blue Baker Restaurants, the Post Oak Mall Food Court, or online at salvationarmybcs.org. Select your angel, shop for their gifts, and return them by Monday, December 12th. Join us to show families in need that love exists beyond hardships. For information or to volunteer, visit salvationarmybcs.org.
Christmas in the Park is returning to College Station's Stephen C. Beachy Central Park from 6 to 10 p.m. on December 2nd and 3rd. Come and enjoy old-fashioned hay rides, cookies, hot cocoa, live entertainment, actual snow slides, photo with Santa and reindeer, adopt a holiday parks pal, and more. Enjoy the 1 million lights that bring Central Park to life. Visit cstx.gov/Christmas for all the Christmas in the Park details. That's cstx.gov/Christmas.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Zach Taylor with your Aggie Sports Minute on the Zone. This Sports Minute is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click HilcoSupply.com. Texas A&M football finally got back in the win column last Saturday, snapping a 6-game losing skid with a 20-3 victory over UMass. Now, after the game, Aggie defensive lineman Albert Regis was shown standing next to the Yell leaders and mimicking their hand signals while the War Hymn played.
It was a good moment to, celebrate a win
and then also do something new. Because last time I checked, I never seen a player go join them. So I thought, hey, let's try something new.
Albert and the guys will look to keep the good times rolling this Saturday when they welcome 5th-ranked LSU to town. Now, to get Coach's Take, tune into the Jimbo Fisher Coaches Show tonight from 8 to 9 on 1620, 94.5 WTAW. A&M women's basketball is back home this afternoon, playing host to Texas State. Tip-off is at 4 o'clock at Reed Arena with broadcast right here on The Zone. Swimmer Baylor Nelson has been tabbed the SEC Men's Freshman of the Week following his performance at the Art Adamson Invitational. Nelson helped lead the Ags to victory by tallying 4 top finishes and notching a pair of NCAA championship automatic qualifying times. And A&M volleyball players Allison Fields and Elena Karakasi have earned spots on the 2022 College Sports Communicators Women's Volleyball Division I Academy All-District Team. And that's been your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hoco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Zach Taylor.
On Sports Talk, Chip visits with Hall of Fame Minnesota Viking defensive lineman Carl Eller. He asked Eller about the famous Roger Staubach to Drew Pearson Hail Mary pass in the 1975 playoff game between the Cowboys and the Vikings.
Up here, he still was a push-off, but down there, how he figured it was a fair play. You know, he didn't push off.
It's still interference up there all these years later, wasn't it?
Yeah, still interference.
Sports Talk, throwing Hail Marys Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 on The Zone.
Hey, mama said the way you move gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove. The way you shake that thing gonna make you burn, gonna make you stay.
And we're back, TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. So I didn't give our production crew enough time, but we were talking about a song back in the day, and John Harris from footballtakeover.com and the Houston Texans with us on the hotline, and I brought up that you were coming on, and then, do you remember the song back in the day, Who's Johnny? By El DeBarge?
Yes, I do.
I
do.
I couldn't remember the
I don't want to
movie.
sing it because I can't sing, but I remember El DeBarge. Yeah, absolutely.
And I couldn't remember the name of the movie, but I Googled it, and it's Short Circuit, too.
Short Circuit. Yeah, Short Circuit. I remember it being in there, and I love that song. I loved El DeBarge. I loved DeBarge for a long time until it was probably about, 6 to 8 months ago, there was a documentary on Janet Jackson, and I'm a massive Janet Jackson fan. I think she is a beautiful soul. I think she's a beautiful woman. She's an incredible entertainer. And learning her history, just the full history, there are just so many things that I forgot. And I forgot that she had actually dated, I think, James DeBarge. And he was a clown show. And I just felt so bad for her. I'm like, man, she didn't deserve that at all. So that's what sticks out to me now. So when I think about it. But back in the day, yeah, El DeBarge had it going on for sure.
Rhythm of the Night, one of the best songs ever.
I can hear it in my head right now. Listen, man, 80s were awesome. I know all you 2000s and 2010s kids out there like, you didn't have internet. No, man, the 80s were awesome. Fashion was out of control. We were flying back from New Jersey when we played the Giants a couple weeks ago, and there was a documentary on the 80s, like 6 episodes on the 80s, and it was awesome because it was all these, it was like fast food, moments and all this. It was great. There was no internet, so it was just a different way you had to go about it. Newspapers actually meant something. It was a cool era, and the music was absolutely fantastic.
The Last Dragon.
Fantastic.
You remember the movie The Last Dragon?
Yes, I do.
That's where that Rhythm of the Night was in that movie.
Oh, it was? Okay. All right. Yeah, Last Dragon. There were some great movies in the 80s, too, for sure.
Yeah,
I don't know if many of them would pass the test of time now, but there were some pretty good ones in the 80s for sure.
We just lost all of our viewers and listeners. That's okay.
Yeah, I know.
Let's move on. Okay. Give me the professor John Harris's coaching technique for A&M to beat LSU. What do they got to do?
Well, the biggest thing I would say, I don't know that I could say it on the radio, but it would be my philosophy, and that is, I'll put it this way. You see how you got balls on the table right there, David?
Mm-hmm.
You got balls right there on the table? There you go. That's the approach you have to take. put the balls on the table. And I mean, that's a little bit of everything. And the first thing you got to do is you got to figure out what players can't beat you. And Jaden Daniels scrambling can't beat you. And Harold Perkins off the edge can't beat you. So go into every game. And that's kind of how I approach every game as I look at it and go, okay, which guys can we absolutely not have beat us? Or what is it that a guy does that we can't let beat us? And Daniel's ability to run or create off schedule, off platform has, I think, given LSU a huge charge. And he's throwing the ball much better. He's much more confident. All those things are really working, I think, in LSU's favor. Harold Perkins has turned it up to a whole different level on the outside. And then he spies. I mean, he does so much. So I think you can't let Perkins ruin the game. So where is he? You got a man and a half, two accounting for 40. Because I don't look at anybody else in LSU other than B.J. Ojulari and think, okay, Ojulari could change the game, but not like Perkins. So I got to account for Perkins, and then I got to hope that one-on-one with Ojulari, he doesn't just kill me, because that's a really good player. And I think Ojulari might end up being a first-round pick. His brother was early second. I think he could be a first-rounder. He's got pass rush skills. But I got to make sure that Perkins doesn't ruin the game because that's what he has done the last few weeks. So if I start there and then I kind of work my way back, okay, how do I do that? How do I make sure Daniels doesn't ruin the game? Well, my pass rush can't just fly out of control. We got to be under control. We've got to change some coverage things behind them. But in changing some coverage things behind them, you've got to make sure that you're not confusing your own guys. So you got to keep it simple at the same time confusing Jaden Daniels, which sounds like a paradox, a football paradox, but that's what you have to do. And then the other side, account for Perkins, make sure 40's taken care of, and that's got to be two men, and that's got to be able to get your quarterback time to get rid of the football. And then you got to lay him on the table. 4th and 2, you got to go for it. 3rd and 1 situation might be play action, might be your best thing. You might have to do things that you don't normally do that are outside your comfort zone. But I say this I say this a lot in covering the Texans in some sense. It's 4th and 3. It's 4th and 1 in the second quarter. I'm like, you're 1-8-1. Go for it. What do you have to lose? What's Jimbo going to lose by going for it on 4th and 1? Maybe at his own 40 or something, when the game's maybe teetering one direction or the other, where he could pick up some momentum, or he could keep a drive going. That's a good drive, faking a punt. It's not going to keep them from being bowl eligible. They're already not, and they're not going to be. So get some confidence any way you know how. Steal possession here or there, and then make sure that 5 and 40 don't wreck the game on either side of the ball. And you've got enough talent to be able to stick in the game and stay in the game. And the longer you stay in the game, the tighter LSU will get. And that's probably the one thing you got to bank on. But to get there, you have to make some plays in some key situations and go outside your comfort zone to potentially do it.
Johnny, I have a very elementary view on this game that I think gives A&M a chance. And listen to my very elementary view. I think you're going to get Devon back. I hope you're going to get Devon back. I think you're going to get Evan back. So you're going to be as healthy as you can be, hopefully, for this game. That's the hope, and it is trending in that direction. All these games, for the most part, have been close. A&M has had chances to beat some of the better teams out there. They were supposed to get blown out by Alabama, regardless of who the quarterback was. They had a chance on the last play of the game. Ole Miss, they had a chance on the last series of the game. I can go through the list. Auburn, they had a chance. All these games that they've lost. South Carolina, they were in a 17-0 hole, and they had a chance to win on the last possession. So I say all that thinking this is another start for Connor. This is as healthy as you're going to be, I think. And you're playing at home. And you got a quarterback that I think can be a difference maker. The offensive line is bad. They've been bad all year long. But if you can keep this game close, as you mentioned, with hopefully Devon back, you've got a chance at Kyle Field, and maybe you get that game-winning play this time. That's my hope and thought process why it can be close.
David, I don't disagree with you at all. I mean, our two teams, I mean, if you're an Aggie and a Texan fan, you've watched it all year long with your teams. Your games are close. The games are right there. But can you make that play in the fourth quarter? And what is it, why you can't make that play in the fourth quarter? Is it because in A&M's case, you've got not too many young players, but you have young players that have not been completely battle tested. And we know there are a lot of things that go into everything, but is that one of them? The offensive line, like you said, it's been banged up all year long. And when it's been healthy, it hasn't really played exceptionally well. The quarterback play has been all over the place. Boy, that sounds really familiar. A lot of young players. So I've kind of watched both, program and organization do kind of the same thing. What happens in the fourth quarter of games in good programs and good organizations is that star talent rises up and says, nope, not today. We're winning this game. And that's something that I think both teams, like, who is the alpha on the Texans? Who's the alpha on the Aggie side that says, not today, boys. Get on my back and ride. Get on my back and ride. Kellen Mond, was that guy. And, obviously he had some help around him as an offensive line that, the offensive line was like, hey, just get behind us, Isaiah Spiller. We'll take you to the promised land. Buddy Johnson, I just talked to him, last week. He was a guy in defense that he was that guy in the middle that it seemed to revolve around. And I feel like both are very similar in that way because every game that I know the Texans have played, it's been a fourth quarter game. It's been a four-quarter game. Now we've gotten, there have been a couple of times where we haven't really been in it, Washington, Tennessee, because we just didn't match up with them physically. And it's been that way for A&M too. In a game or so, they haven't matched up physically because they haven't had some of their young guys in there. They've been banged up on the defensive side of the ball, et cetera. But for the most part, they've been in every game. They've been competitive. So what changes? And I asked Lovie Smith this, and I would ask Jimbo Fisher the same question. In your mind, what does it mean to finish? Because we talk about it all the time, right, David? We say, finish. All right, what does that mean?
Right.
Does that mean that you run harder on play number 85 than you did on 45? Like, what does it mean to finish? And to me, finishing means that you are alignment and assignment perfect. Each guy is doing his respective job to the best of his ability. There are no mental busts. And hopefully your star steps up and makes a play because he is that guy. And that's the way you can end up winning a game in the fourth quarter. And I go back to the one win we had. We kept it close. We made plays throughout. It's a 6-6 game. And on the drive that we needed, Nico Collins caught a fade route on a third down that was just glorious. And Dameon Pierce had a 20-yard run that I've just titled The Run because it was that good. Our two stars on offense stepped up and made plays when they needed to. Now, at other times, there have been things that stood in the way of our stars making plays in the fourth quarter. And that's been, I think, the same thing for the Aggies and the Texans. So if you're an Aggie Texans fan, you're watching mirror images of one another. I know A&M's going to be in this game. I know absolutely without a shadow of doubt, especially if A-Chain's playing, they'll be in the game. I don't doubt that for a second. And I'll be honest, I think LSU is a good football team. I don't think it's a great football team.
Yep.
I think A&M's absolutely in there. So what the Aggies have got to do and what Jimbo Fisher has to figure out for them is how in the fourth quarter do we win this game? What do we do in the fourth quarter to go win this football game? And maybe it takes Jimbo doing something a little bit out of character. Maybe he does something running the football he didn't want to do. Maybe he's throwing it a little bit more. Maybe he goes for it at a certain point. He's got to do something in the fourth quarter as well to accentuate the stars that he has in A-Chain. You mentioned Evan. And then defensively, I'll say this about defense, and I've watched it with both teams. I think the second and third levels tackle horribly. I think they tackle horribly. I see way too many guys throwing shoulders into guys instead of wrapping up and bringing guys down. And so when you get to the final 15 minutes, it's dotting I's and crossing T's and doing the fundamental things. And I think sometimes, and I mean, we talked about it. I mean, it's why we have all these radio shows, because we talk about, well, how can you win? What can you do? Why did the team lose? Where's the blame? All that kind of stuff. But you know what? Football's pretty simple in some sense, David. It comes down to blocking and tackling. If you block well enough, you tackle well enough, you'll be in every game. But if you don't, then you're going to have major issues. As long as the talent's the same. I mean, when I coached a long time ago, my talent was down here, and I had a lot of talent we went against up here. So it didn't matter how well we blocked their tackle because we couldn't get in position to block or tackle against those teams. A&M has got enough talent to be there to do those two simple things, and they got to do that and do it for 60 minutes and do it together. One time for 2022, do it together and see where you sit at the end of the day.
Johnny, I'm going to ask you this, and I know as we get closer to the NFL draft, you'll have more analysis, and the team you work for might be in the market for a quarterback. We don't know how that's going to play out this year, but they could be. Bryce Young, what kind of pro do you think he could be? Because the guy's a gamer. The guy's put out some Herculean performances out there, but size is a question when it comes to him, and I don't know how much size needs to be a factor, but it is something that comes up.
Well, we're going Sunday to face the guy. He's Hawaiian, and he's 6 foot, probably 205. He's not very big, but he's arguably, if he's not the MVP in the league, he's second in the league, and that's Tua Tagovailoa. And it's not really an Alabama connection; it's more the size connection. Tua's not. I mean, Tua's decently thick, but he's only 6 foot. Bryce Young has always been 6 foot. When he was dominating in Mater Dei, when he dominated in Alabama, Bryce Young's going to be a fine pro. And here's one reason, and the major reason why, David. In the fourth quarter, I asked this, Mark Vandermeer does a segment with me, who's better? And so he always asks me, who's better, this quarterback, that quarterback, this quarterback, that quarterback. And the one thing I always put in my mind is, who would I want with the ball in his hands with the game on the line? I'll take Bryce Young all day, every day. Yes, he's slight. We've seen slighter quarterbacks come into the league and do some things because they can move. Bryce moves to throw. He doesn't move to go run and take a shot. There are bigger quarterbacks that run and take a lot of shots, and it ends up impacting the way they play. Bryce moves to throw. He doesn't move to run. He'll run when he has to. But if Bryce is in a situation where offensive line has got some first rounders in front of him, and there's some talent on the outside with a really hard charging running back, and I think Bryce can be okay. I think Bryce will be very good because Bryce will give you, as we talked about, in the fourth quarter, when things aren't going well, I go back to the Auburn game. Things are going sideways. He goes 97 yards to tie it and then wins it in overtime. And I'm telling you, he did it on his own because the leadership he's been getting the last couple of years, not to say it's going to be better in the NFL, just saying the way that he's had to fight through that. And then this year, he has not had a ton of talent at wide receiver. He's made all of them look really good. The offensive line is just at Alabama. It's not like it typically is. Bryce Young has made that team what it is. And it's not a great team this year. But without Bryce Young, that team is 6-5. And go back to the Alabama quarterbacks of yore. Phillip Sims, Coker, McCarron. But those guys with that situation, that team is 6-5. Bryce Young has pulled that team by the nape of its neck to 9-2. Bryce Young is the number one quarterback. And if the Texans are looking for a quarterback, he's the quarterback I'm taking.
Johnny, got about 48 seconds. Bill O'Brien, will he be back at Alabama next year? In your opinion?
No.
Yeah.
No. I think there are multiple reasons for that. Good, bad, otherwise. He will not be back at Alabama. I would be shocked if he is. I would be absolutely shocked if he is.
You think he'll be a head coach?
Probably.
Yeah. TBD.
Probably. Yeah. Probably. But, who's to say?
Yeah.
Who's to say? I mean, there probably is going to be a university that looks at the situation and says, we think he can help. All right, go ahead.
All I know is, and I'll say this, you don't have to. When I found out he was going to Alabama, I was like, it's good things for A&M. And honestly, both games was pretty good for A&M. They should have won this last one. They didn't. But so, Johnny, you're the best, man. Happy Thanksgiving. I missed you, brother.
Miss you too, man. Love the family. Love it to the Aggies out there. It's always a blast. I mean, I float around Houston. And, hey, man, I heard you on TexAgs. It's always such a great network, and I appreciate it. I'm so thankful for it. Thankful for you, buddy. Love you, man. And we'll talk to you again next week.
Talk to you next week. John Harris there. footballtakeover.com and Houston Texans sideline reporter. Right now we're talking Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. They got deals. It's a website where you need to start your search at because they change it every month, and the deals there are phenomenal. I've bought my a vehicle, my last one here. We bought a Tahoe through Zach Hester and his group there. And the beauty about the process was it was super easy. I'm an annoying customer because I got questions. I'm indecisive. Like I go grocery shop and I'm like, I don't know if I want to get this one. Maybe I want to get this brand. I don't know. This is cheaper, but this tastes better. Same way with cars, right? And you know that whole crew, they put up with me. We need this kind of car, but we got this kind of budget, and they just found the right car for us. That's what they do there. They find the right car at the right price and the right service, and the entire experience is phenomenal. It's about a 15-minute drive, Brian Caldwell, short conversation away, but you're going to see the difference when you step on the lot and you do business there with Zach and the fellows there at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell and online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. Applications are open for the Downtown Bryan Lighted Christmas Parade on Thursday, December 8th. Apply online by December 1st at destinationbryan.com. The 27th Annual Food for Families Food Drive is Wednesday, December 7th from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Brazos Center. All proceeds benefit the Brazos Valley Food Bank. More information is online at kbtx.com. The theater company of Bryan College Station presents Titanic the Musical. Performances run December 1st through the 11th. Purchase tickets online at theatercompany.com/tickets. When you don't know where to turn to 211 Texas, a free, easy-to-remember helpline that connects you to community services. Simply dial 211 or visit 211texas.org. 30 minutes after the clock hits 0 at Kyle Field. Talk about it with Dusty and Louie. Talk about it on the Zone Call-In Show, brought to you by TexAgs. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
I couldn't help but notice that your jaw dropped at the same time as your tailgate. Do tell. It's my first tailgate of the season, and I forgot to grab the food and drinks. Now I'm just standing in a parking lot with a hot grill and empty coolers. Pump the brakes on your tailgate hate, for Specs has thousands of ways to raise your team's spirits with a colossal selection of world-class wines, hard-to-find spirits, and ice-cold seltzers and beers. What say the parched Parker now? My parking lot faux pas was no match for Specs' plethora of low-priced perfection. Now I'll take my spot in the pregame Hall of Fame and kick back until kickoff in 6 hours. You certainly put the day in game day. And with Specs' lower prices, you'll save enough for tickets to the actual game. You're welcome. Specs. Cheers to savings.
Start your sports day with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor. Weekday mornings from 5 to 8 on 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Or just tell your smart speaker to play Zone 1150. WC Tractors, your local award-winning Kubota and New Holland dealer. Call them with your questions at 1-888-8-TRACTOR. That's 1-888-8-TRACTOR. Or check them out online at WCTractor.com. Rise and shine. Weekday mornings from 5 to 8 with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max from ESPN Radio. Powered by WC Tractor. Here on The Zone. Looking for podcasts of TexAgs Radio, The Louie Bellina Show, or Chip Howard? Look inside the Pod Center at zone1150.com. Don't miss a single guest or moment. You can download or subscribe to any and all of your favorite shows inside the Pod Center at zone1150.com. There's also a special selection where you can find select interviews from David, Louie, and Chip. Look up Zone interviews inside the Pod Center at zone1150.com. Download or subscribe, but don't miss out. Check out the Pod Center at zone1150.com.
All right, we're back. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Talk a little Bonfire for a moment. We got some breaking news here on the show. Deanne McKinnis has been with us many times in the past, and Nick Zhang, who is the head stack. Gentlemen, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Outstanding.
Good to see you guys. Nick, I guess I'll let you start off. We have some breaking news with Student Bonfire.
So unfortunately this year we know that due to the weather, it's been a rainy season lately, and we cannot in good conscience burn this Friday night. We looked over everything at the old site. We tried to have parking plans for every single acre that we could go out. it's just unfortunate that it's just too muddy. And Bonfire has built a reputation over the last 20 years of being safe, putting safety as our top priority. And sadly, we cannot, with good conscience, take that risk. There'll be a lot of damaged cars. We don't want anyone walking through all that mud. We don't want to take that risk. So we want to play it safe, and we'll postpone burn night until a later date when it's dry.
Okay. So it's still going to happen at some point.
Yes, absolutely. We worked way too hard just for it to stand there and look pretty. So the community, everyone that built it, they worked so hard, and we appreciate all the hard work they did, especially after moving stack sites this past year. And it was just a lot of hard work put in, and we still have to burn the hell out of Bonfire.
Dion, you wanted to follow up with some thoughts about it?
Yeah. First, I commend the students. Nobody showed up and said, "Hey, here's what you have to do. Deal with it." They approached this situation respectfully, with respect for their community and participants and the former students. And once again, they've shown us what we as former students always just said. We never had the opportunity to prove what it was that we were saying, that it's building Bonfire that builds each other and builds this institution, and burning it only gives us the chance to do it again. And these students have embraced that opportunity and shown us that they understand. And with that in mind, they're proving to us that this can be done. And this can be done in the right way, which is students doing it, students leading it, students executing it independently, the way that it should be done. They're doing a thing that is, to anybody else in the world except for the Fighting Texas Aggie, impossible. They're making it possible year after year after year. They're doing the thing that we can't do anymore as former students, nor should we, because it's their turn. But now it's our turn as former students to do the impossible thing. They've shown us they can build it. They scrape by the way that they should. They scrape by the skin of their teeth every year building it, and it will always be that way, but we can give them a home to do that. We as former students, if Bonfire has changed your life, if it has given you friends and even families that are going to last a lifetime, if it has made you something that you never imagined that you could be, now is your turn, our turn, to do the impossible thing. And let's give these kids a home of their own that they can rely on, that we can rely on year after year after year, so they can pour 103% of their energy into doing the thing that only they know how to do, which is to build the hell out of Bonfire. If Bonfire's moved you in that way, and I hope that it has, email me, dion.mckinnis@studentbonfire.com, and let's give these kids a home. We're proud of you. Nick, we are all proud of you. And we're proud of every participant that built it. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Nick, when did it become apparent that it was trending in this direction? Because the weather, as you've mentioned, it's not just 1 or 2 days. It's been several.
Right. We've kept an eye on it all season long. We've noticed that it was a wet stack season. We didn't really think that it could go to this point, but after this week, Dion and I talked 2 nights ago, and we realized, the rain would just not stop coming. So 2 nights ago, we started talking about it, and then yesterday we were out on site. We looked over for hours. We fought hard to try to make it happen this Friday, but yesterday was the real deal breaker.
Yeah, and you said it kind of hit you yesterday mid-afternoon that you thought potentially this is going to be the – how did it go for you?
I kept checking in with them as they remained optimistic, trying to explore contingencies. Excuse me. And when we were down to plan C, plan D, plan E, that's when I knew that, boys, I don't know if you can see this yet, but I think I see where we're going. And then they eventually, it was about 11 o'clock last night that they got to that point. And I went home, getting ready to go to bed. One last check before I go to sleep. It's almost 2 a.m. And they say, we're actually brainstorming a little bit more. So early in the afternoon, I'm thinking, I don't know if we can pull it out. And up until 2 a.m., they're still going, no, we can figure out a way. Yeah.
What's the dialogue like for postponing it? Like, how does a date come from that? How do you guys figure that part of it out?
So Bonfire has been postponed in the past before. It's been postponed about 3 times, twice due to a burn ban, and then one other time due to how wet it was. That 1 year that it was given how wet it was, they postponed it until January with the other ones because it just was wet until January. Mm-hmm. So we're looking at a couple of dates. I think one date that we're looking at is December 16th because that's after finals. Hopefully we'll still have a large amount of people in town. If not, then we might have to just wait until January.
Right. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I know that they're going to discuss with all of the crews, all of the participants, what date makes it so that everybody who built it can attend. December 16th would be great because that's commencement, graduation weekend.
Right.
But many of the participants might be going home, so we'll check on that. That's what the January date came from in the past is, well, that's when all the students are back.
Right.
So Stack will be under guard. We're going to get cameras on it. We're going to have students out at it. One of Bonfire's most popular photos and posts every year is the year that it postponed and the Red Pot sat out there alone and decorated it with Christmas lights on Christmas Eve so that he could have a little bit of Christmas when he was stuck out alone. That's what they're prepared to do to get it to where everybody can enjoy it together.
Nick, last thing for you. Dion kind of set the tone for it, but just the amount of work that you guys have done. Kind of just give us a description of how this consumes your days in a great way, by the way. This is relationships and family come from this.
It is a full-time job. I work, and I'm working overtime, but it is something that we love to do. The amount of work that we put in, I don't feel like that fire does it justice. We put everything we have into it. It's constantly talking to people. As juniors, you're doing a lot of behind-the-scenes work, and then as seniors, you're going up face-to-face like we are right now and just talking to everyone and building relationships. So there's a lot of hard work. Everything is thought out, and we have a plan for everything. But, just the amount of work that we put in, we love seeing it go up in flames.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. We're sorry to hear the news, but it'll burn, and it'll be great. So thank you very much.
Thank you, David.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ags.
Gig 'em to you guys. Right now we're talking Fargo's Pit Barbecue, 1701 South Texas Avenue in Bryan. Tuesday through Saturday, it's open 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. They are closed on Sundays and Mondays. You know the phone number, 979-778-3662. You should call them up because their specials run out really quickly. They're one of the top 50 barbecue joints in the world, according to Texas Monthly, because of the flavor of the food and the great food that they have there. Call early. Maurice will handle that call for you. Tell him what time you're going to come pick it up. He'll have it ready. Then Alan or Belinda is going to be at the front desk. So today is Wednesday. They've got the, chopped beef and on a baked potato. Tomorrow they're not going to be open, obviously, I don't think. I don't know. They might be. I don't think they are. Friday, though, fish, corn, coleslaw, hush puppies. Saturday, they got the beef ribs. It is Fargo, 1701 South Texas Avenue in Bryan. Without a doubt, the best barbecue in town. That's their trademark because it's true. It's Fargo's.
He's got the moves with the wit of Larry David.
What are you doing here?
Olin Buchanan, mornings at 8 on TexAgs Radio, here on The Zone.
Since 1957, Slovakic Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovakic is the official sausage of Texas A&M Athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovakic. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh kolaches from their bakery on your way out. Slovakic Sausage, Highway 60 in Snook.
Here's Brad Beard of Intercon.
As the old saying goes, if your only tool is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. At Intercon, we have a full toolbox to meet your window needs. Perhaps your home is ready for a full retrofit to vinyl windows. This full replacement option beautifies your home while improving thermal efficiency, noise reduction, and dust penetration. On the other hand, your existing windows may just need some maintenance. The glass in your existing windows may be replaced, in many cases upgraded to more efficient options. The mechanism in your windows can be replaced to allow the window to operate more smoothly. Maybe you just need solar screens on some windows to eliminate hot spots in your home that tax the air conditioning system and make some rooms unlivable. With the breadth and depth of Intercon's knowledge and product offering, we can find the solution that meets your needs and budgetary constraints. Trust your friends at Intercon to understand your needs and use the best tool for the job.
Whether you have new construction or an existing home, let the fine folks from Intercon help your home energy efficiency year-round. Call Brad Beard of Intercon today at 823-3639. That's 823-3639.
Hi, this is Jeff Vanderwood with Veribank. Veribank is continuing to grow in the Brazos Valley with a brand new full-service banking center on Highway 6 in front of Academy. We have a team of genuine bankers specializing in personal and business banking, wealth management, and investor real estate lending ready to serve you. Verabank is here to help you succeed financially, and you can bank on it.
Visit verabank.com today. That's VERA bank.com. Verabank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Bryan Broadcasting congratulates the College Station High School Cougars as they continue their charge toward the state football championship. Hear all the playoff action live on Maverick 100.9 and online at maverickradio.com. Thank you to our sponsors, the law offices of Jeff Paradowski, American Momentum Bank, Cash and Dental, and University Title. Listen to the games live on your home for College Station Cougar football, Maverick 100.9.
Max Kellerman from Keyshawn J. Will and Max. They told us we can give you guys anything we wanted. So what's everyone want? We're giving you cash. You want to talk about money? We're giving away $10,000 a day, and all you have to do is listen for your chance to win.
You can win $2,500 an hour every hour, weekday mornings 5 to 8 here on The Zone with Keyshawn J. Will and Max, powered by WC Tractor.
Anytime I think about Logan Lee, I think about Raspberry Beret and Prince. You could just see him bumping this back in the day. It's TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Logan Lee is on the hotline. Good morning, Logan. Happy Thanksgiving, brother.
Happy Thanksgiving, Nuño. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Were you a big Prince guy back in the day?
I listened to Prince a little. When I was at Hawaii and we were on road trips, I always traveled with one of our assistant coaches in the vans and buses, and he would do Earth, Wind, and Fire all the time. That's what we were. That's what we were rocking to in the car.
Earth, Wind, and Fire and Prince. Good times. Hey, I'm going to ask you because you're part of the staff. What's your favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
Man, I don't know. I like it all. I don't think there is anything that anybody has put on the table that I haven't eaten. I am a human garbage disposal. There are very few things that I won't try, much less eat.
Logan, big picture, what did we learn this past weekend in the 2 defeats and 1 victory, the good and the bad? Did you learn anything?
Yeah, A&M's got a long way to go. I think we knew that they had to grow and develop and develop to a point of where we were talking about, where we were mentioning the tournament, second game, maybe a second weekend. We knew that they had to grow, that they weren't there yet, but I don't think that we understood exactly how much that they needed to grow. This team needs to mature. The core group of guys are in their second year here. The transfers are older and more mature, but they're transfers and they're still trying to figure out the system. And I think when they got that number in front of their name, they broke the top 25. They got a little complacent, thinking, "Hey, we've arrived," and that's obviously not the case. Just because you have a number in front of your name, because you've beaten a couple of smaller schools, doesn't mean that Murray State isn't going to take it to you. It doesn't mean that Colorado isn't going to take it to you. We learned that they have a ways to go. But I also think we learned that, and this is something that we learned last year, Buzz isn't afraid to change. During that 8-game losing streak, they changed things up. They opened the floodgates for Q. They figured out some different schemes on defense on how to work with a smaller lineup. And so we know that Buzz isn't afraid to change, and we know that he's already changed a little. I mean, he changed the starting lineup against Loyola Chicago just to send a message and see how that worked out. So this team still has a ways to go, but I haven't lost confidence in the fact that they are a tournament team, that they could get to the second game and possibly the second weekend, just depending on how much they grow.
So you're saying that this weekend for you was not a red flag, that you're not necessarily discouraged. It was just more, maybe a little bit more confidence going into something and not getting back to their roots of being a hungry, grinding kind of team.
No, I think they're always going to. I think they're going to, for the remainder of the year, I think they'll be hungry. I think this is a lesson for all of them to understand that you have to stay hungry and you can't just show up to win ball games. The only red flag for me is the fact that they couldn't adjust on the fly, or they didn't adjust on the fly. You saw against Murray State, they kept trying to push and push and push and play at a faster tempo, and that's how Murray State wanted to play, and they didn't adjust. They didn't go to Julius Marble when he was dominating whoever Murray State put on him to try to stop him. And then they followed it up against Colorado, and they didn't change one bit from the Murray State game to the Colorado game. And those were back-to-back games. So obviously it's tough for them to adjust on the fly right now at this point. You give them a day in between those games, and they came out against Loyola Chicago, and they were refocused, regrouped, and they were back at it with their defensive intensity and their basic principles of what they were doing on both offense and defense. But that was a day. It took them a day in between to sit back, realize, and then change, whereas they didn't change and adjust on the fly. And I think that's the only red flag, because you're going to have to adjust it multiple times a game in the SEC. When it gets to the NCAA tournament, there are going to be teams that throw plays at you, throw schemes at you that they haven't run all year long because they've held them back so that way no one could scout against them for those types of situations. And so they're going to have to be able to adjust quicker to be able to make it as far as we think that they can go.
Here's the worrier in me, all right? Because I do worry a lot because it's A&M sports, and that's what I do. But offensively, how challenged do you think they could be? Because I used last year as part of my thinking here. They weren't a very good offensive team until they gave the ball to Q and let him do his thing, and then it opened up everybody else. They don't have Q this year. So how offensively challenged do you think they can be? And I know you think of this as just a blip on the radar, but offense, they got to score some points.
Yeah, there's no question. There's no question they have to be able to score some points. But while they don't have Q, who is an NBA-level athlete, he's got the talent to be a top dog athlete in the NBA. So yeah, it hurts to not have that, but they've changed a little. And I think because if you watch the Loyola Chicago game, they did go to Julius Marble more often. They did recognize, hey, this kid can score in the paint, and he does open some things up. So he's going to be able to open up the floor in a different manner, not necessarily with the explosive one-on-one drives to the basket and pull-up shots and all that, but he's going to attract the attention of everybody if you put him in the post with his back to the basket and you give him 3 or 4 seconds. The defense has to collapse on him if they can't guard that, and that's going to open up everybody else. So they have different ways, but it could possibly result in the same facet of what happened last year. And the floors opened up. When Q drove, the floor opened up because everybody focused on him. They just have to figure that out, because I think Wade Taylor has the ability to score. Boots has the ability to score. Julius Marble has the ability to score. Dexter, maybe we're figuring that out. We're seeing how well of a scorer he is. I'm probably forgetting a number of people, but they do have some firepower on the offensive end. It's just got to all gel together.
Talking to Logan Lee here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers in the Rollo Insurance Studio. So I've given Buzz props about this last year, and I'm giving it to him this past weekend. That dude will coach, right? He doesn't necessarily do what he wants. I mean, he does. There's a certain DNA that his teams have to have. But when it comes to, like, offense and defense, he is willing to change based on the talent he has and based on the way a season or a game is going. Just talk about his, he'll change a lineup if he needs to. He'll do what it takes to get the best out of his team.
Yeah, he's not a guy that's going to hold any punches when it comes to the roster or playing time or whatever's best for his team to get a win. He's not afraid to bench somebody, a starter, if they're not doing well or if they don't have the right matchup. I think that's one of Buzz's strengths when it comes to coaching and managing his team. I also understand that the players know that. There are a lot of players across the country that if they get benched, even if they're not having a good day, it's going to hurt their feelings. They're going to start pouting. The coach has to coddle them a little and maybe let them play through a little more because they don't want to put them into a slump for the next game and hurt their feelings. This roster, this team that Buzz has and has had for 4 years here at A&M, they all know that he has the best interest in mind. And if they don't play 25 minutes in one game, they could play 30 minutes the next game. It all depends on matchups and where he sees the path to winning. And that's a luxury that a lot of coaches don't have, but he has maybe built that into the culture. He's built that into the trust of the players, and that's a strong suit to have when you're a coach.
Is there a player that has to get going, has to be an alpha, or has to be like a guy, a dog, if you will, for this team to reach the level that we think that they can reach?
Yeah, I would go back to and say that's either Boots or Wade. Wade he's going to take a lot of shots, and he's going to need to make a lot of shots. I'm questioning on how good of a point guard he is, because he does like to fire it up, and he is going to fire it up. But he can also energize that team. He energizes the team by making big shots. He energizes the team with his speed and his intensity. However, the reason I say Wade or Boots is because Boots is that even keel guy that is never too high, never too low. You want a guy that can energize you at times. You want a guy that can calm you down at times to be your leader, and that's what Boots is. And so I think those two guys really are going to be the catalyst to how this team plays out. One guy that we haven't talked about, Henry Coleman. You know, it's tough to be that energizer bunny from the post position when the ball doesn't go through you all the time, when you don't have does he really have a set position? He's not a true back to the basket guy for A&M, but he's not a true stretch four just yet. So he's in a tough position, but he is one of those leaders, and he's one of the guys that he's very vocal. He'll tell people where they need to be and when they need to be there, and he's not afraid of it. So there's just a mixture of players, I think. It goes back to just the way Buzz coaches and builds his roster. They win by committee. They don't necessarily have one guy that can just change a game every day, night in and night out. Now, Q became that guy. I don't know if Wade can become that guy. I don't think Boots is going to be that guy that just changes every single game, night in and night out. But this is a win by committee type of roster, and I think that's how Buzz's teams usually always are.
Logan Lee with us here for one final question. Hey, Logan, I don't know if you saw this, but Joseph Duarte in Houston, he covers the University of Houston for the Chronicle, says about the University of Houston, they're going to play in a 2023 Charleston Classic, which could include, or it says tentatively, to include Dayton, Minnesota, St. John's, and either LSU or Texas A&M. Don't know if you know much about future scheduling, but that being said, that would be a cool tournament to be a part of if it does happen, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, Charleston's not a bad place. We don't usually travel to non-conference or pre-conference tournaments, but Nuño, we may need to think about what a trip to Charleston looks like, because that would be that'd be a fun trip.
I mean, I'm thinking more from a work perspective. We should absolutely go. Nothing social at all. We may be there 3 days before the games and 3 days after, but 100% agree with you, my friend.
Absolutely, and I completely agree. It needs to be a work trip. We need to do maybe a site visit beforehand so we understand the landscape, so we can figure out the best workflow and the best work environment for us.
Happy Thanksgiving, Logan. Thankful for you, buddy. Talk to you soon.
All right, Nuño. See you. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Later, man. All right, Logan Lee there. on the hotline. All right, we'll come back with a short segment. It's TexAgs Radio.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. The theater company of Bryan College Station invites you to their 34th season reveal party, Sunday, December 4th at 5 p.m. Help make a local seniors Christmas special this year. Adopt a senior and shop for their wish list items, or volunteer to pack and deliver gifts to nursing homes. Find more information about Senior Christmas at bbcog.org. This Christmas, love beyond. The Salvation Army, in partnership with Bryan Broadcasting, presents Angel Tree 2022. Adopt an angel, make a donation, or volunteer your time. Find more information at salvationarmybcs.org. Submit your nonprofit or charitable event by email to news@wtaw.com. Listen to the Aggies beat the hell out of LSU Saturday, starting with the Learfield pregame show at 5 and kickoff at 6 on the Zone 1150 AM, 93.7 FM, or online at radioaggieland.com. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
Due to the Texas heat, humidity, not to mention the multiple hail and windstorms, most roofs don't last their full lifetime. But since 2006, AmeriStarRoofing.com has been helping Texans protect their homes from age and storm-related damages, and they have multiple adjusters on staff working directly with your insurance company to ensure that you get the coverage you need to make your home look new again. Call AmeriStar Roofing now to schedule your free roof inspection, 979-446-9874. AmeriStarRoofing.com.
Hey, we're here with Jason Rollo. What makes Rollo Insurance so unique?
Well, we're a business ourselves, and we grew from a notepad. And when you come from the perspective of doing it yourself, I think you understand what business owners face, because we face the same things. Technology needs, dealing with those who are clients, as well as dealing with employees, agents. We understand because we're in the same boat, and that gives us a unique perspective in dealing with people and trying to help them.
Visit them at their headquarters in College Station or online at rolloinsurance.com.
The biggest names in sports are on ESPN Radio.
Joe Davis, New Orleans Saints linebacker.
We just keep chopping wood, keep sharpening the axe day by day. When you have a good process, that's what you focus on.
Julian Love, New York Giants defensive back.
It's been good to leave your house or whatever on Monday, and you see a lot of people on the streets just walking wearing the Giants gear.
Joined now by the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, New Orleans Saints safety.
I think we got enough fight in us, and obviously we got enough football left, so I believe in us, no doubt.
Former Eagles safety, Pro Football Hall of Famer, Weapon X, Brian Dawkins.
It wasn't that moment that makes me want to rip his head off. It's just that he was in the other jersey. That's the way it works.
Curtis Martin, former Jets running back and Pro Football Hall of Famer.
I loved having Key as a teammate. He was one of those guys who you knew you could depend on, no matter what, came hell or high water. Listen in to ESPN Radio, weeknights and weekends on Sports Radio, 1150 and 93.7 FM.
All right, we got a little short segment before we hit the 10 o'clock hour, and then it'll be Recruiting Country with Ryan Broniger. And let's just show the wide shot, can we?
Hey, it's me. It's Ryan Broniger, TexAgs.com, here with recruiting news.
Ryan, can I ask you about the state of recruiting with Texas A&M?
Yeah, I got a lot to say, but I'll save it for 10 o'clock. That's when we're sponsored by Caprock.
How did you go from Bronny to Dalton in the same, like you had a great...
Hey!
There we go.
I got to lift today. I got to go to Needleland. Got to see PNG play this weekend.
Is that where he's going?
Yeah.
How you doing, Dalton?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Happy Thanksgiving, sir.
Happy Thanksgiving, yeah. I thought I'd just pop in for a segment. We only had a couple minutes.
We had like a minute and a half. What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for all of you guys and this job and getting to work here and be with my friends every day. That's what I'm thankful for on this Thanksgiving week.
Favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
Oh, green bean casserole.
Olin's out on that.
Well, Olin's senile, so...
Have you ever watched Magic Mike?
No, can't say I have. Why?
Because Olin said that would be like my movie. No, not at all.
Your movie's Batman.
Yeah, Batman.
I'm Batman.
They're all good.
The new one wasn't that great, though.
I liked it, but it wasn't great. You're right.
The Dark Knight Rises.
Those are classics.
That's peak. I'm gonna get in trouble for being on here probably.
No,
Richard's gonna be mad at me.
Richard will be. All right, we got to hit a break here. When we
come back,
where am I coming?
Which camera are we doing?
Hey, let's do it together. Let's do the big
red
camera.
light. Let's go there, and then we're gonna go to the.
You say it, and I'll just mouth it.
This is TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Start your fight in Texas Aggie football Saturday with the Zone Game Day Show, brought to you by TexAgs. Join Bryce, Dusty, Olin, Cease, and me, Louie, as a part of your tailgate, back porch gate, grill gate. Let us start your Saturday. Game Day on the Zone all Saturday long is brought to you by the George Bush Presidential Library and Museum, Brazos Valley Floor and Design, King Ranch Saddle Shop, and Texas Mobile One Oil and Lube. Spend your game day on the Zone.
Remember the last time your family visited the forest? It's a place of wonder and imagination for the whole family, where stories come to life. And it's closer than you think. Ready to plan your next visit? Make the forest part of your story today at a local park near you, or find one at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest